Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? We're gonna go in live here, just doing some Q&A. Really, I just finished making a long video, so I'm just chilling here with you guys. We're gonna answer some questions today. Just do a little Q&A. We're gonna give people a little time to come on here. But while I'm waiting for people to come on here, I was doing the book Outwitting the Devil, right? And I was doing a video for that for my patrons on Patreon. And we're in chapter 9. In chapter 9 of Outwitting the Devil, uh, one of the key things that he talks about that I thought was interesting, I posted this on my Facebook page earlier today, and a few people, we had debate, we had conversation about it. But let me tell you what I posted on Facebook today, and I want to see what you guys think about it. Uh, in Outwitting the Devil, he's talking about uh, you being committed and living for yourself. Uh, let's see where to start. The devil had said to Napoleon Hill, "A life that is lived with fullness of peace of mind, contentment, and happiness always divests itself from everything it does not want. Anyone who submits to annoyance by things he does not want is not definite. He is a drifter." Right? So then Napoleon Hill. Now that statement right there is just key within itself. And in my book that I'm writing right now, How to Find Your Divine Soulmate, that's definitely a part of it. I'm going to add that to it. And this part I'm going to add is too. Napoleon Hill asked the question, what about married people who cease to want each other? He said that isn't true that marriages are made in heaven and that people should be bound together forever by the bargain, even if it may prove to be a poor marriage for both people. And the devil, according to Napoleon Hill, said, "First, let me correct the old saying that all marriage is made in heaven. I know some that were made on my side of the fence, and I know some of those marriages that were made in hell as well." He says that minds which do not harmonize should never be forced to remain together in marriage or in any other relationship. That friction of all forms of discord between minds lead inevitably to the habit of drifting and the course of indefiniteness. Now, I thought that was very, very interesting. What's up, Chandra? How you doing? I thought that was very interesting of how he expresses that if two minds are not harmonizing, that no matter what type of relationship it is, whether it's a marriage, whether it's family members, whether it's business, that those two minds should not be together anymore, that you should not be bound by a contract. And on Facebook, we talked about that a little bit, how the concept of marriage is somewhat outdated. The fact that you would expect to stay with somebody for the rest of your life, even though you're just being complacent, content in that relationship, is ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. I can't even imagine being in a relationship for the rest of my life to where I'm not even thrilled to see that person every day. Where I don't wake up next to them and I'm excited about waking up next to them. That I look forward to spending my day, my evening with this person. If I'm not feeling that way, and we've tried and we've worked with things and we've talked about things and we're just not getting there, it's not a place that I want to be. But we're being held to constructs of tradition based on religion and nationalities. Religion and nationalities has us bound to that. And to me, I just think that that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I think that you should, when you're like, then if the next time I get married, I'm writing my own vows. And they ain't gonna say that, "Oh, I promise to be with you forever and love you forever." It's gonna be like, "Look, I fell in love with you because of A, B, C, D, and E. Now, if A, B, C, D, and E go away, I don't know if we're gonna still be together after that. Cause I didn't fall in love with E, F, G over here. I fell in love with A, B, and C. So we got to keep A, B, and C if you want this thing to last." Those would be some good marriage vows to me, in my brain. You know, if your marriage vows is just straight up, you know, hey, even Miss Teach. But if your marriage vow is just straight up like, "Hey, I ain't going for what they say in the little book that they have inside the Bible, that they be making up words, you know, to love, honor, and hold till death do us part." No. What if I don't like you in 25 years? What if all you did was give me nothing but hell and discontentment and anger and argue with me all the time? And what if the intimacy is just dead? I'm not staying with you. No, not gonna do it. I don't care what your book say. It doesn't matter to me, you know. But there are so many people who stay in relationships like that. and they're not happy. There are people who stay in business relationships like that. They're not happy. There are some of you guys, y'all got jobs that y'all can't stand, but you're not doing anything to change your job. Exactly, Shondell. Right. That's the word. But I mean, there's only a few people on here right now, but I'm really curious. For the people who are on here, do you love your job? Do you? I'm waiting. Give me an answer. Do you love your job? Or do you wake up every day talking about something like today is Friday? Right? Miss T said, nope, you don't love your job. So let me ask you a question. Are you in the process of changing your job? Or are you still just staying there? Are you in the process? Have you started making strides to change it? I love the craft, not the job. Shondell said, nah, there are some aspects that I dig about it. And that's cool. There's some parts you can love about it. And I don't know what the craft is, so I don't know what that means by the craft. I mean, it means the kind of work you do, I think. Going to see how this coaching thing works out first. Right. And there's nothing wrong with changing stuff up. I'm 46 right now. Oh, Miss Teach. I guess if Miss Teach, you teach. Right. So you love the craft of teaching. But realize there are so many other areas that you can teach. I used to be an IT teacher. I used to teach IT. I could never teach in the school system. I would choke them little kids, and I would probably go to their houses and choke some of the parents too. But so I couldn't teach in a school. I was offered opportunity to teach in a school, and it's not going to work. Now, when I taught IT, I taught adults. So walking in and saying, look, I already got my certification. I got my degree. Y'all need what I got. I've already worked out in the field. Y'all need to get what I got so you can go out there and work. Now, if you want to waste $15,000 and sit around here and play around and play computer games, that's on you. You can do these labs, and you can follow these instructions, and I can teach you how to get a job. If they didn't want to do it, I didn't have to worry about it. Now I didn't like the fact that if I got somebody who was distracting, I would kick them out of my class. But there are other ways to teach. Oh, so Miss Teach and Shondell, you teach too, 8th graders. It's rough teaching these new generations of kids. I promised myself no more than 10 years though. Okay. Now be careful now. I used to be married to a teacher. And when she first started teaching, she told herself she wasn't going to teach but for 2 years. And she's been teaching for 18 years now. I'm in the public school system, and it's the curriculum constraints, so close to a good pension. And that's hard. Once you've been there for a long time, you might as well get the pension since you already put in. If you put in like 16, 18, 20 years, you might as well get the pension. You're not put up with that much time, you might as well get the rest of it. I get that. But have a plan for when you leave. Don't think of the mindset. If you get out, when you finish, let me give you an example. Back when I was in the Marine Corps, there was this thing. I don't know how true it was, but they were always saying that most people who stay in the Marine Corps for like the 25 years or plus or more, once they get out of the Marine Corps, within 10 years they die. And they die because now they're home and they don't know what to do with themselves. And if you're not using your life, you'll lose your life. Nothing is stagnant. That's just the law of nature. Everything is either growing or dying. Nothing is stagnant, right? So since nothing is stagnant, then you got to keep moving. You got to figure out something. Figure out what it is that you want. How would you prefer to live your life? What would you want to do, right? Yeah, I know it's kind of amazing. You're on a spiritual journey, finding yourself. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with becoming a spiritual teacher. As you are on your journey, hey Troy, how you doing? As you're on your journey, you can figure out you can teach spirituality. You can teach different types of spirituality. Whatever it is that you believe, you have the ability to teach it. And there's so many different ways to do it. Right? Okay, freedom from religion, great. Because the people who are moving out of traditional religion, that number is growing tremendously. If you had asked me back in the early 90s, when I fully came into separating myself from the construct of traditional religion, if you had asked me in the 90s that there would be a huge audience of people out there, by now I would have told you crazy. I was like, man, please, there's no way these people are going to stay so stuck And the number of people are going to be so few and far between that I never find them. I probably never meet anybody who was like that, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really fully rebel and just stay at home. You know, my kid's mom was still a Christian, so I went to church with her. I involved myself with things they were doing there, even though they knew that I wasn't, I didn't believe what they believed. But I still went, and my kids were there, and I still participated in programs, and I would teach the kids about business and about other things of life. So I still went because there was no audience, there was no communication. And then, the internet has bridged that tremendously. So with that bridge, now, you can, as a teacher, there's so many people you can teach whatever it is that, whatever pathway you follow. Right? There's so many people teaching. I told a friend of mine when I was a personal trainer back in the early 2000s that, you know what, I should get out of the fitness part of it and just teach like meditation. Teach people how to meditate, teach them the Hermetic laws, and just teach them that, right? And they was like, man, nobody's going to pay you to do that and all. Man, look at what people are doing now. There's tons of it's not tons, but there are people who make their living teaching people how to meditate, doing that exact same thing that I said that I should have done because I didn't particularly care for the actual fitness part of it. I found it boring. Lift this weight. Okay, how many times can you go and lift the weight? I find that boring. But to teach people how to center themselves and open their chakras and things like that, there's so many things you can teach. So don't. But I would, if you have a pension coming in the next 5 years, 10 years, I would start planning. Shondell, I would start planning right now. If you've given yourself a max of 10 years, I don't know how many you have left, but I would be in that planning stage and start my side hustle of that thing. Start doing it right now, right? Don't wait. Don't ever wait for it. Just go ahead and start. There's no reason not to. Linda Jones said, teaching something that the youth can use after school. Yeah. You know what they could use after school? Financial management. These kids don't know anything about financial management, right? Shondell, 8 years I've been told that I need to start a job where I can talk a bunch. Yeah, look, if you guys don't know Shondell has, you got that real deep voice, and we got Barry White going on in his voice. So there's a lot of things you can do with your voice, bro. A lot. Miss T says, I teach 5th graders, so I spend a significant energy on the kids, how to think critically, learn, and question everything. Now that's good. That's good. And kids need to learn how to do that. But they are being taught the test, though. And the school to have one teacher that's teaching that is great. Because at least they're getting a little bit of it. But, kids need to learn a lot more. Like, I'm surprised at how many kids have no idea how a bank account works. How an account works. It's one thing to not have a bank account. It's one thing to never experienced it, but they don't even know how it works. Like, they just know that mom and daddy got a card, and they use that card and swipe it, and they know money comes in there. But that's it. They don't understand how a bank account works, how you get the bank account, how you process your money. They don't understand a banking checkbook. They don't get debt and expenses. Like, I literally have had to take, some kids and show them what a debt is, what an expense is, and what, a credit is, and how it all works and fluctuates, how the debt takes away from the credit. And I taught them how to budget. I actually created this whole spreadsheet that breaks down my 70-10-10-10 plan. It's a spreadsheet plus it's a spreadsheet and budget all together. It's part of my Financially on Fire program. That if you haven't, so you have to sign up for that. But teaching them how to use their money, teaching them how to eat, like nutrition classes used to be taught in school when I was coming up, but they don't teach that anymore. Like, we used to learn, about nutrition when I was in, I think elementary is when I learned about nutrition. When you start, even though they had that pyramid that was so wrong, but at least they was trying to teach us something about a healthy meal. And I know the dairy industry lobbied and had a bunch of money pushed into the school system to teach people that you need to drink milk and have cereal and all this kind of stuff for breakfast. And I know these different lobbyists push for certain things, but we did learn a little bit about nutrition while we were in school, about not overeating and having activity and exercise. But they don't even teach that anymore. These kids, they really not getting it. But things like economics and diet and how to conflict resolution, those things like from ninth grade on to graduation, that should be taught. Every kid should walk out of a high school knowing how to handle their money, knowing how to save, knowing how to take better care of their body, and knowing how to deal with conflicts, right? Miss Teach said, unfortunately, I've just been in the last 3 to 5 years learning financial literacy myself. I'm a student. Yeah, it's and you know the thing about it, I'm surprised at how many adults don't know. How many adults don't know? And here's the thing about it, I'm even more surprised by how many adults don't do the basic things that I've put out for them to do. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but last week I did a video. I think it was last week. I did a video saying how my credit score. I got a 30-point bump in my credit score, right? Well, now that 30-point bump is now 84-point bump. So I've got a total 84-point bump in my credit score by doing one thing. Do you know that only one person has sent me information or acknowledged that they went and did it? One. Just one. Now the video's been watched by like 200 some odd number of people. But only one person went and did it. Right? And that's a bit disheartening. Now another person has been asking me questions because it is with Navy Federal. And I was like, they were asking questions like, do they have to be in the Navy? How do you show proof and all that kind of stuff? So maybe it'll be two people who would do it since the person does qualify for a Navy Federal account. And basically, if you're DOD, been in the military, or you're related to anyone who's been in the military, or live in the same household as someone who's been in the military, you can get an account with Navy Federal. And then Navy Federal has this thing called a bridge loan. I mean, not a bridge loan, a pledge loan. Right? I don't know why bridge loan been coming to my brain so often over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so Shondell's with Navy Federal. So this is what you do, Shondell. And see, I was telling people to do this because everybody's getting their little tax returns. And they waste your tax return. You waste it every year instead of using it for better purposes. So Shondell, go over to Navy Federal. You can do this you have to start with at least $250, and you can do it up to $50,000 or $40,000. But I did it with $1,000. I went in. I said, okay, there's $1,000 in my savings. I want to do a pledge loan. So the little girl, she processed the paperwork, right? She did the application. Took all about 5 minutes. Your dad was a Marine. All you need to do is show proof that he was a Marine, his DD-214, and then your birth certificate to show that he's your dad. So you go in there, you do the application. It takes 10 minutes. After the application is done, they're going to take that $1,000 out of your savings and they're going to put it in a new savings with your name on it. Okay, this is going to be your pledge account. Then they're going to cut you a check for $1,000 and give it to you. So you're getting your $1,000 loan. You take that check, you put that back into your Navy Federal account. It's cash. Since it's a Navy Federal check, they cash the check. It's instantly in your account. Now you have your $1,000 back. So you are without your $1,000 for like 10 minutes at the most, right? So now you got your $1,000. You can go off and you can utilize to pay your bills, whatever. I mean, put your whole paycheck in there for like whatever. I don't know how much you get paid. Let's say you got paid $2,000 of every pay period. Take the $2,000 from your pay period, go into the bank, do the pledge loan. You will walk out still having your $2,000 to go pay your bills. Now, that $1,000 that I put in there, when I looked at the terms over the next 2 years, I'm only going to 10 minutes a long time. But I'm only going to wind up paying like $24 in interest over a 2-year period. Right? Yeah, you can let it sit, but there's no reason. You can let it sit, but you're only going to pay like $24 over a 2-year period for that loan, the interest, because the interest is only like 2.9% interest or 2.4% interest rate. So you're not paying hardly nothing on the interest. But I just know Navy Federal have that pledge loan. I didn't check any other banks, but I know Navy Federal does. So you can check your other banks. I mean, you can do it with a secured credit card, but you just got to know that you're not going to have access to that money for about 7 to 10 days because you got to wait for the card to come back to you. But I know I got an 84-point bump in my Equifax score and a 80-point bump in my TransUnion score simply by doing a $1,000 pledge loan, and I never was without my money. You know, I was only let me not say never. I was only without my money for like 10 minutes, right? But look at the bump it gave me in my credit score. I put that video out there. 2, 3, 400 people now watched it. Only one person is asking questions now, and only one person actually went out and did it. I'm just saying, you know, that's what we need to understand. We need to, because credit is king now. Credit is king. Yeah, and if you're not with Navy Federal, if you can't get with Navy Federal, I don't know if somebody else has it. I don't know if USAA does it. I don't know if somebody, but anything like that, a pledge loan or a secured credit card, right? That's going to give you that bump. And when your credit score, the higher your credit score is, then the more power you have, basically. Right. And it doesn't matter if you don't need a loan. Just go do it. Who cares if you don't need a loan? Just go do it. I'm telling you, just go do it. Because there's nothing better than knowing that if you need to get a loan, that the answer will always be yes. Does it matter if you're discharged? No, it doesn't even matter. They don't even run your credit to do the pledge loan at Navy Federal. Your credit, they don't even run your credit. Right? They just do it because it's secured. But even if you were discharged, if you did a discharge in a bankruptcy, then you definitely need to go do a pledge loan or go do a secured credit card. Either way. But you need to go do one or the other. You know, I'm doing both. Next month I'll be doing a secured credit card. I just want to do one for like $5,000, so I gotta make sure I have $5,000 that I can set aside and wait about 7 to 10 days before I can actually have access to it. So we're gonna be a little, you know, I gotta do it at a perfect moment next month. well, thank you, Andrea. But that's why I put in the title. We talk about anything. So if you guys got any questions, don't hesitate. Ask your questions, because I don't want you to be talking. Can a car loan from a credit union bank increase your credit score? It sure heck will. Car loans will increase it because it's collateralized by the car, but then two, it has a long, you have a revolving, not a revolving, but the payment time frame is like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So that's going to give you like a really good bump on your credit score as well. Coach, do you have a reading guideline for the books you studied that help you see the light with religion? I did a video earlier today that I posted on my YouTube page of that very subject. So go over there and check it out. But for beginners, you see, I don't want to give you a book to say, oh, go read Zachariah Sitchin's book. That's right, Miss T saw it. So first go research the trivium just to understand it. Just to understand the trivium, what it is. And then, 5 books in one video. And then the books were The Kabbalion, which is spelled Kybalion. Yep. It's only one L though, Miss Teach. Check that 5th grade. Nah, just playing. But The Kabbalion. And then you had another book, which is Outwitting the Devil. I just did a video for that one for my Patreons on Patreon. Nah, you're all right. I was just playing. I was spelling it with 2 L's for a very long time myself. Because the spell check won't catch that word. So we got the Kabbalion, Outwitting the Devil, the Tao, which is spelled Tao, the Tao Te Ching, which is philosophy. And I told people to read it's 80 sayings, read one, meditate on it for 4 days, live it for 4 days, and then move on to the next one. And then it was the Richest Man in Babylon. Go ahead, Shondell. The Richest Man in Babylon and The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Yep, that's right. So those were the books that we talked about. And I gave a brief description of each one earlier today on that video. But go watch that video anyway, because the views help me out. Let's see. Kevin Wesley said, you have a store in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. What kind of products do you sell? Okay. So, now my store is currently in flux, so it's only online right now. But I have a gourmet popcorn and ice cream shop, and I'm in the process of opening in South DeKalb Mall. So we'll be open, hopefully by the end of the first week of May, we'll open up. We used to be in Alpharetta, but I sell 25 different flavors of gourmet popcorn, ice cream, Italian ice, milkshakes, chocolate covered Oreos. Okay. Matter of fact, go to my website, which is the letter U, the letter R, and the word popcorn.com. And you'll see the menu. The menu is there for the popcorn flavors and that sort of thing. And we do ship, And if you're in Atlanta, we do free deliveries in the metro Atlanta area. But yeah, that's what, so Kevin said that. Yeah. Kevin, so I appreciate Kevin saying that. And what's Andreas Rush said? Woo, South DeKalb Mall. Andre, are you in Atlanta as well? So is Reginald and Andrea in Atlanta? Oh yeah, around the corner. Well, I'm not open yet, so don't show up yet. You can order online, but don't show up yet. You're gonna be mad. I know I gotta go over there tomorrow at 11:30 to meet with a future employee. Let's see. DJ says trying to find out more info on the Flavians and Ptolemy Soter as well. Oh, the Flavians. I would suggest reading Josephus, reading the Annals of Titus, and that were written by Josephus ben Matthias, who became Josephus Flavius, and then reading the War of the Jews by Josephus. I would look forward to meeting you, Miss Andrea. And I don't know if you're on my Facebook, but for Uncle Renz Popcorn, that's the Facebook page for the store, and I'll be announcing there when I know I'm closer to an opening date. Locations coming to Botswana. You got doggone right. Gonna be some locations in Botswana. I'm telling you, I got 5 years on being here in America. Then it's boom, we out. I got people who want to leave earlier than the 5 years before I leave. So, we're gonna start setting things up to go there soon. Actually, around the end of this summer, I'm taking a trip up to DC to go to the embassy in Botswana to start making contacts and working with the Botswanan embassy as far as helping people to relocate there and start working with the government to get things set up. Yep, and Maurice is in DC. We'll have to link up when I go there, and I'll be seeing my cousin who's there too, his old Pentagon working self. All right, Linda said, what made me choose popcorn? And Miss T said, I'm trying to send a little something, but I'm getting blocked. I'm not blocking, so I don't know how to do that. So it's not me. And what made me choose popcorn? You want to be honest? You want me to tell you the truth? Or you want me to tell you a lie? But I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is this. I saw an opportunity. I saw an industry that was being unfulfilled, that had a great upside of somebody being able to become a dominant player around the country, around the world, that nobody owned that space. So because I saw that opportunity and I was just coming out of the fitness industry and I wanted to own the space, I chose popcorn. And plus, the margins are outstanding. Had some rough, rocky roads in the beginning because I was listening to who used to be my ex-wife, trying to make her happy and do business at the same time. Found out that wasn't a good mix. So now I'm doing it back on my own, rebuilding the company, reestablishing the company the way that I want to do it. So, but I chose it because of the margins and the opportunity that it presented. No problem, DJ. There's not too many people out here selling gourmet popcorn. Good decision. Exactly. That's why I'm doing it. That's why 90% of my customers have never heard of gourmet popcorn before. 90%. So I know that it's like the Wild West in this industry. And I'm taking things a little bit different this time. What's up, Just a Simple Life? I'm good. Haven't seen you in a while. Peace, brother. I know I haven't done a live in a while either. So one of my Patreon, Byron, he was like, when you going to start doing lives again? He sent me that message. So I was like, okay, let me start doing lives more often. Miss T says she could eat herself to the top of a swimming pool and popcorn. Well, you got to go online and order something then. Go to urpopcorn.com and you can order it and then I'll ship it to you. But yeah, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I like my product. I got the best product in the world. I mean, it tastes great, right? I just wasn't a popcorn eater before I started this company. But ever since I started the company, of course, like I plan to go see the movie Rampage this weekend. Gotta have my girl carry the big purse, because and when me and my kids go see Avengers, Infinity War, we got to make sure the girls got their big purse, so put it in there, So I become a popcorn snob now, just missed those videos as well. Glad you caught this live. Yeah. And I was getting slack because I was moving my store and so many things. Then my computer caught a virus and been down for the last 4 days. Yeah, you gotta have that big purse. I've been off my game on doing video. That's why the other day I dropped like 4 videos in the same day, because it's like, okay, now, I've been off my game, so let me just overdo it and to kind of get myself back in videos. And I shot a video for my Patreons today. It was half of chapter 9 for Outwitting the Devil, and I'll be shooting some more videos definitely tomorrow. A lot of people have been sending me questions, so uh, I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to do videos based on people's questions, as well as just things I like, that I just want to talk about. And I did create a separate channel for Jeb. Some people were saying, like, I haven't seen a Jeb video in a long time. I like Jeb, so I created a separate channel for Jeb. He's gonna be doing all my movie reviews, and yeah, so that was pretty good. I enjoyed that, but I really want to grow this page. Me and Kevin were talking. Actually, we were talking earlier today about growing. Things I need to do to grow this page. I mean, I don't have a viral video like he did, but he was just giving me some pointers as far as how he's grown the page since then. And actually, he should be publishing today. He and I are doing an event in Charlotte at the end of this month. Miss T said, I'm kind of a closet non-believer. Anyone experiencing this? I was a closet non-believer for a bunch of years. I mean, I had to keep it to myself. I didn't have the internet to be able to express things the way we express things now. So, but the beauty of it now is that when you do come out of that closet, you have so many people who are right there with you and who are going through it with you. So you don't have to go through the anger and the frustration and the disappointment. You don't have to go through any of that by yourself. But also, you don't have, when you get into the elation and the love and the presence of it, you'll have other people who you can connect with as well there. Reginald said, how do you feel about the owners of the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia 76ers going to visit Meek Mills? Oh, I didn't know they was going to visit Meek Mills. I don't even know why Meek Mills is in jail. Okay, I got to be honest with you. When it comes to the entertainment world, I'm like, I don't pay attention to most of it. Like, when I'm talking to Shay, my girlfriend, she will start talking to me about somebody. Like, she was trying to tell me about Catherine Zeta-Jones earlier today and how she's married to Michael Douglas. I was like, who is that? She had to show me a picture for me to know who it was. But I don't know why they're going to see him. I don't know why he's in jail. So I don't want to say something about that without knowing some more about it. Thank you, Birds Do Regular. Thank you. Appreciate that. But billionaires going to see him in prison. You never know with people as far as what they're doing and why they're doing it. Some of these, you know what? I am going to say something about that. Let me read this one question first, then I'm going to say something. Tell us what clothing item turns you on the most on women. Okay. I'll answer that question real quick. Since it is getting warm here in Georgia, it is sundress season. Sundresses and heels. Something special right there. But but I do like dresses and skirts that fit the person's body. And heels. I hate flats. Oh, them little ballerina shoes. Whoever invented those need to burn in hell. Alright. Simple to say, I would love an occult video series would be interesting. Which occult? You gotta name the occult. Like, for instance, billionaires going to see Meek Mills. Are they with the Illuminati or are they with the 13 families? What organization are they with that they're trying to control the world? Because why would you want to control Meek Mills? Now you gotta tell me which one. And you tell me I know. You gotta tell, okay. But Meek Mills. Who is Meek Mill? What's so special about him? What is he controlling? He's controlling young minds with his entertainment. And if he is, then what message do we want him to put out that's going to benefit us later on? Those things are possibilities. And here's the thing. Those things are kind of true. I was watching this show. It's this show that I just binged on since my laptop had a virus. It's called Timeless, right? And it's really about this Illuminati-style organization that's trying to use time travel to change things in their favor. Well, there was one episode where you meet the guy who started it, and his son is there, and he's learning how to build a clock. He's teaching his son how to build clocks because the clock representing time, but it's also representing control, right? Like how Rome never failed. Okay, yeah, I get to that one. But he was teaching him how to build clocks. The clock represents control. But the kid says something to the effect that the peasants, people, regular people, we call them peasants. The peasants are like the hands on a clock. They just go round and round. And the guy says, well, who controls them going around. And he said a clockmaker, of course, right? And he's saying that people don't deserve to know certain things or to be certain things or to have certain, that you have to condition them and move them however you want them to. So billionaires going to see Meek Mills to maybe influence him on how he communicates to the youth that listens to him, so that they can be controlled into a certain way of consumerism, a certain being docile, things like that. It's possible. It's very possible. I don't think it's not. Yeah, I know that show, it was deep. Most people wouldn't even have caught that too much on that show. But there's a lot of deep things on a lot of shows that catches my attention. So just a simple, I'm good. Simple life, I'm good. I like saying their name. Like how Rome never fell. True, Rome never did fall. It just changed. It just converted. First, and one of the main ways it converted was through religion. It recognized that through religion they can control people without guns and without violence. That after a while, without guns and violence, that you gain control of the mind, and the parents just keep teaching the children over and over again that Rome is still valid. I mean, just look at the Vatican. That is Rome in itself. Look at the way they trick people into thinking that the King James Version is actually something different than what the Catholics have wrote. So they're still controlling people. And as long as they control you through your religion, and generation after generation keeps pushing it, then they got you. They got you wholeheartedly. You're stuck with them. Reginald said it's funny because they don't speak up for Colin Kaepernick when the players were kneeling. Yeah, because Colin is going against what they want. You know, they can get Meek Mills on their side, on their team, then that works, right? So, I mean, you got to understand command and control. I mean, I'm sure you guys know. This world is not, there's like a battle. It's a fight, right? People are fighting for control over the world, to maintain their control, to decide who's going to be in charge. And each one of them think that they're doing a better job for the world, that what they're doing is the best way for people to be and for the world to exist. But they also understand that there's no emotion in it, that some people have to die and some people get to live. We only want certain people to live. We want certain people to die. And they don't see anything wrong with it. And in truth, if you were honest, in order for this world to function perfectly, certain things have to die. I mean, look at the animal kingdom. All the gazelles can't live. The lion got to eat some of the gazelle. So, but the problem is that we're not just beastly animals. That we have reason, right? And that we are of the same animal. So it doesn't have. I'm thinking that we try to elevate the people's mind instead of just saying, "No, you guys stay dumb. You guys stay beneath my heel." And we try to do better with people. That's just me. But there is a fight between organizations, and it's fought through the government because governments are puppets to them. What did Linda say? Didn't know you were in fitness. Just started therapeutic aquatic therapy with arthritis in my knees. Not the first time I worked on my knees, but it seems like the knees got worse. They buckle. Ooh, yeah. And you know, one other thing that'll help them knees and keep that inflammation down is to leave dairy alone and reduce your meat intake. If not completely reduce, get rid of meat, but definitely get rid of the dairy. The dairy creates mucus. Mucus forms in the joints, and in that joint area, you can still get bacteria and viruses, and you get the inflammation, and that's going to continue to mess up your knees and cause you to have problems in arthritis. Reginald said if they read the King James Version of the Bible, why don't they read the King James book on demonology? They're not gonna read his book on demonology because it goes against their teachings, dude. Then they have to open their mind. That's not gonna happen. Miss T said, is it for the world or for themselves? It's for themselves, but they also think that they're helping the world as well by keeping those who don't deserve. Like all the mystery schools always had it where not everybody can come. Most people, you have to show that you were worthy of coming. So they don't feel that everybody is worthy to exist here on the planet, that some people are just a drain on society. Is it like morality? It's like morality is another safeguard in that way. Yeah, it is. And see, Darwin's survival of the fittest, actually, that's an incorrect idea of what Darwin was talking about. It's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the adaptive. The more you're able to adapt the greater your chance of survival. Think about the cockroach. The cockroach is one of the most adaptive creatures on the planet. It can't kill a lion. A lion is the fittest, but that cockroach is more adaptable to any type of society, any type of situation. Ants are more adaptive, except for it's real cold, but ants are more adaptive. So it's really, and that's how we have to think as humans. We have to adapt. We have to adapt to situations. Are we going to stop the 13 families? You're going to stop the whatever groups out there? No. But we have to learn how to adapt to the situations, to life, so that we can gain from it and squeeze as much out of it as we possibly can to utilize these things. That's one of my things of going to Botswana, is saying that we're going to go to Botswana, but I'm taking everything that I learned from America and taking it over there, and taking as many other people who've learned stuff from America, and let's take it over there and then adapt that to a new country where I can send my son down the street with a hoodie on and I'm not concerned about his safety. Yep, exactly. Fit equals adapt. Thank you. Yeah, we're in agreement on that one. Yep, the species that can adapt to its surrounding. And that's one of the things that's plaguing black people in America, is that we're not really adapting to our surroundings. We're really not. If black people were adapting to their surroundings in America, then they would buy from black businesses and start to build communities, build the business in the community. They would demand from the churches and the schools to teach the kids how to think critically, but also demand from the churches and the schools to give back and feed the community. That they would say, okay, if I'm going to give you this money every week, then you're going to tell everybody to support the businesses in this community. You're going to ensure that we're going to come together as a unit, and we're going to go to the police department and demand fair treatment. We're going to support this community and the people who support this community. If that was the case, if we were adapting to this society, because then we would say, okay, we got to make sure that at least in our area where we live, the police aren't harassing young black men, that they're not killing and shooting young black men. We got to make sure of that. We got to adapt this. We got to take capitalism and adapt it in such a way that it works for us, for this community. If we were adapted, but we haven't been adapting to our surroundings. We've been adapting to what somebody else is doing. We've been adapting as commodities and as consumers to everybody else, and begging and still marching. I think I said in the video that marching today is like you trying to run Microsoft Windows 10 on a 486 computer. It's just not going to work. It's just not. Or you go back and you grab some football player or basketball player from the 1950s and let that joker try to play today. He can't even play on the street court. Most of them wouldn't be able to play on. You have to find the best guy from back then and put him in today. Yeah, that might work, but we're still marching and stuff. That's not going to help. Yes, but many. Well, I lost that one. Yes, but so many believe that suffering is part of God's plan. Yeah, it is, and it's stupid. And even the Buddhists have that dumb belief. They changed Siddhartha's teachings and made it into suffering. He did say life is about suffering, but that you're not supposed to suffer. You're supposed to enjoy all the greatness that life has to offer. That was the point of him sitting under the Bodhi tree and the little girl coming and giving him some food after he had been an ascetic for so long. That life isn't about suffering. It's about enjoying, and it's about abundance and understanding how the universe works. But as long as they believe that they are supposed to suffer, and that's God's will, then they'll accept it. And then those in power can do whatever they want to people. Like the book, when you read the book The Alchemist, he'll talk about how as long as you don't kill too many sheep at one time, they won't even notice. As long as you don't shear too much of their wool at one time, they won't even notice. They just keep on letting you walk around following the shepherd, food and water. Do you think the meta-natures can ever be deciphered? And if so, can it be a way back to power on the walls besides what we are remembering? Yeah, I think they can be. And everything will get deciphered at some point. And but see, the power, getting back to the power, it's all up here. It's all up here. It's all getting into that golden age of thinking, right? And understanding the true power that you have as a being that can use both good and evil in the perspective of the polarity scale. When we can understand that and our true divinity as humans, then I believe we'll step back into our power. Let's see, 7 No Fear says, hey, Coach Renz, love your videos. Appreciate that. I was wondering if you caught that video on Facebook of the Christian Paris pastor talking about Christians worshiping instead of understanding the word works. No, I haven't caught that one, but I will look for it. The 10% that they give to the church every Sunday can be set aside. Yeah, they ain't setting that aside, bro. Pastor need a new car. But you're right, it could be set aside. And really, Kevin did a good video on how tithing is not even really part of their New Testament anymore. That is food and stuff like that. It's not money. But of course, they converted into that so that people will keep doing it. And then the idea that let's think about something right now. If you gave me, if I told you that if you give me $10 and you keep giving me $10 every month, and then at some point when you need $100, I'm going to give you $100 as a return on your investment. You giving money expecting to get money, I would go to jail because that's a Ponzi scheme. But you give money to the church, and then when you're in trouble, you expect to get some money. Sounds like a Ponzi scheme. Same thing to me. Okay. I'll look for it if I can find it. I have to remember what you're saying. Christian pastor talking about Christians worshiping it instead understanding how the world works. Yeah, they don't want to know how the world works because people never really want you to tell them the truth. They want you to tell them like a facade of the truth, right? But never the truth. Can you touch on Saturn? I don't know a whole ton about Saturn. I started studying Saturn for a little bit, as far as like how the poles of Saturn form some geometric shapes and some sacred geometry. And I do understand Saturn, a little bit about Saturn energy, but I really haven't taken that time to study Saturn as much. That's just the truth of that one. Just the truth of that one. I haven't really taken that much time to study it, but it's on the list. Honestly, I do have a long list of things that I plan to spend more time studying. Linda said the following lots. I follow lots of people. Ray, Kevin, Young Pharaoh, Jamar, and me. I came to the knowledge of y'all through waking up the people. I'm woke and I don't want. Waking up people. I'm woke, but I don't know what's coming in. Oh, no, it's nothing wrong with reading the title. I can talk about spirituality, but I would never claim to know everything. We can talk about there are other aspects of spirituality that I can tell you about that we can talk about, but that's just one of the things I don't know that much. I know a little bit, but not enough that I feel comfortable speaking on it as if I know it. But other levels of spirituality we can definitely talk about. But I'm trying to understand this question, but I don't know what's next. You're confused. Okay. Well, I had a conversation with a gentleman earlier today, and he's coming out of Christianity. And it can be confusing because it's like losing a loved one. You're gonna go through some anger. You're gonna go through some grief, and confusion is part of it. There's a book that meant a lot to me back in the early 90s, and people are now getting caught up into it. But it's the Gospel of Thomas. One of the second saying in the Gospel, saying in the Gospel of Thomas says something to the effect: "Seeking you shall find, and when you find, you will be disturbed. But then after you are disturbed, you will marvel. And once you marvel, you will reign over all." I love that verse because it basically takes you through those 12 stages. It takes you through those stages of grief, of losing something. Because you've been seeking and you've been finding, and what you found, it disturbed the heck out of you because it tells you that what you have been believing, what you have been taught, what the people you trusted have been teaching you something that's just not true, that's contradictory within itself, and actually has no validity. It has some good wisdom. It has some good wisdoms that you can utilize to live your life by, which is why you don't throw the whole thing out. Use the wisdom. Use the wisdom. Measure twice, cut once. Good wisdom. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's good wisdom. Don't steal, don't kill. Good wisdom. You can find that in other places as well, but it's good understanding. So I get it. I get that part. But then as you are coming out of it, you start to realize that, dang, I lost my train of thought. What I was telling the guy, I see other people popping up questions and it throws me off sometimes. So it can be confusing because then you start to get angry, and in that anger you feel disturbed, you feel disrupted, like your whole life is now disrupted. You start losing friends and family, and people kick you to the curb, and you feel all this disruption in your life, and you start wondering like, well, how's my life going to go? And you feel like you have to believe in something, right? But then if you continue to read the Gospel of Thomas, a lot of what it talks about is you looking inside yourself and realizing that the kingdom of God as well as the kingdom of the devil is all around you. That heaven and hell really is in your brain. That what Napoleon Hill was talking about in Outwitting the Devil is that the devil is the negative portion of your brain, but also omnipresence, omnipotency is the positive portion of your brain. And that you have control over either one. That you create your universe around you. And you will vibe with your tribe. So the more you look inward, the more you recognize that there's a divine God and goddess inside of you. That when people talk about twin flames, when they talk about the two serpents, that's all within you. And when you start to reconcile those two, as a matter of fact, in Gospel Time, I think it's 48, 22, saying 22 as well as saying 48, and then there's another one, I think it's 66. They all say something to the effect that when the two come together in agreement in one house, meaning you are the house, then you will tell the mountain to move, and the mountain will move. When your feminine energy and your masculine energy come together in unison, when both halves of your brain come together in unison, and where do they cross at? In the pineal gland, right? The third eye, that's where they cross. So when you bear on your cross and you come to that understanding of who you are divinely, then you start to marvel because you see the world totally different. You start seeing how things happen totally different, how things maneuver totally. You start realizing that the law of cause and effect is more powerful than anything anybody has ever prayed for. People are praying, oh, please, God, please do this for me, do this for me. But yet the law of cause and effect, you know that for every cause there's an effect, and for every effect there's a cause. You realize these people who are begging are just the effects of someone else's cause. But if you start being your own causal factor, then you create life how you want life to be created, because you go into it definitely knowing exactly what it is that you desire to have in your life, and you have it with no doubt whatsoever. No doubt whatsoever is in your mind. That's why I say there's still good wisdom in there, because when two come together and have no doubt and tell the mountain to move, the mountain will be moved. There is still good wisdom because it's pulled from previous wisdoms. But when you conceptualize that, when you truly get to know that in yourself, that's when you begin to marvel. That's when you begin to reign over everything, because now you control your universe. You control everything around you. You learn how to control your emotions, and you don't just emotionally fall into panics or emotionally fall into anger or emotionally fall into love, right? You do everything is measured. Your emotions are measured. And when your emotions are measured and you can then learn how to transmute that emotional energy into your thought energy, now you're truly creating everything in life that you desire. And that's when you reign. You really reign over your life. And it's not about having a bunch of money, but it's about finding peace and contentment and love and happiness. And if it is money for you, then it's about finding money. I had to remove people out of my life in order for me to build my business the way I want to build it. And I don't feel any regret about it at all. Some people would feel regret about getting a divorce, but I have no regrets whatsoever. Let me try to catch up on some of these questions. It's funny how they never expose the facts that those Arab people are not Egyptians. Of course they're not Egyptians. And they never will. That's why when they had the whole thing in Egypt, they never showed the Nubians. They only showed the Arabs. A broken clock is correct twice a day. Well, you know, that information was pulled from the Sumerians and from the School of Akhenaten. It was pulled from so many different people, so it's bound to have some good stuff in it. I guess what's confused me is they constantly refer to the Bible when making good points. That's because they have nowhere else to go. Oh, that's powerful. Thank you. They have no place to go. They have no other place to go to, so that's the only thing they can do. Now, I love this question. Do you seek opportunity, or does vision drive what you seek? Oh, that's good right there. That's good. Oh, man. I'm gonna say something about that, but that's going to be on my brain for like the next few days. Do you seek opportunity, or does vision drive you for what you seek? The best way I can say that, and the best understanding of that for me. Now, if you had asked me that question a few years ago, I would have said that I seek opportunity. That, like the story of the three princes of Serendip, where they were always making sure that they were prepared for any opportunity, and they prepared themselves always, so that when opportunity came, they was ready for it. Then they were really seeking opportunity, because the three princes of Serendip went around seeking opportunity, is what that story is. And then, like I said, we get the word serendipity from that. But now, it is my vision of the person, of the being, of the fully developed being that I have of myself that drives me. And because of that, opportunity finds me, right? A lot of you guys, a lot of people who listen to my videos now, they listen because they found me, because they saw me talking with Kevin. But what they don't realize, I've been making videos 5 years prior to me ever even hearing or speaking about Kevin. And when I first spoke about Kevin, it was because I hated the way people were treating him, right? And it took 2 videos of me talking about him for that to happen. But in that whole time, the couple of years prior to that, my whole mindset was truly fully developing me. That's all. That's it. I wasn't seeking any opportunities. Do I want to stand on a world stage and speak? Yeah. Do I want to build a nation? Yes, I do. Are there things like that I desire to have in my life? Of course, because that's the vision I have of myself. But since I have that vision, then the opportunities find me. So I would tell you to figure out who you are and who you want to be. Once you know that, start becoming it. And as you become that, then things will come to you. You don't have to come to it, because what the universe says is that, dang, and your subconscious brain doesn't know the difference between reality and non-reality. So it starts pushing things to come your way. You start vibrating at a frequency that makes these things come your direction. People will feel your vibration who are opposed to it, and they will just feel like they can't be around you, and they won't. They'll leave. They'll remove themselves out of your life. While other people see you and they be like, man, there's something about Miss Teach. I don't know what it is about you, but I just want to hang out with you. I just want to be in your presence. And then you start discovering other things about each other. And next thing you know, you built up something. All right? You built something. Today was a little bit of a stressful day for me. But I hardly ever worry about stuff. Most of the time, I don't worry about nothing. I can have there's so many times I've made videos where I was surrounded by chaos. And many people would have faltered, but I don't concern myself with it, because I know that whatever I desire is going to happen the way I want it to happen. Either way, it's going to happen. I'm going to have it. It's going to be there. If you had asked me 6 months ago, how was I going to move my store from Alpharetta to South DeKalb Mall? Well, first of all, I didn't even know I was going to South DeKalb Mall, but I knew I was moving my store. If you had asked me how was I going to do it, where am I going to get the money, I would have told you, I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going to get it from, but I know I'm going to get it, and that's all that matters. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What is that, Mind Free? My contacts are messing up on me. Mind Free, I appreciate that. That's so sweet. But but I just keep, I don't worry about stuff. I just worry about building me. And even when it sounds selfish, right? Like, it sounds selfish because I worry about building me. And just because I love building me and the type of person I am, I'll build other people who are around me. But if they don't want to be built, I won't force them to be built. But if they don't want to, I don't worry about it no more. I just keep moving. Opportunities that come your way. You just got to build the person that you want to be, and everything will gravitate towards you. Yep, we become what we think. Exactly. And here's the thing: you become what you really think in the back of your brain. It's those subconscious thoughts are the ones you gotta control the most, because those subconscious thoughts, those are the ones that's really building your environment and building your universe. The ones that you think, the ones you say to other people, the ones that sound good, that sound politically correct, that ain't building nothing. That's just a pack of lies, right? That's lies you lying to yourself. That's you gotta get that throat chakra in order, because you telling yourself some lies then. Let's see. Just said that I hope this does not sound crazy, but can you start having knowledgeness? Some might call clairvoyance or physics. Just curious about the subject. Can you start? Knowingness. I'm saying knowledgeness. What's wrong with me? Dang, the context don't want to act right. Knowingness or some might. Now I know what clairvoyance is. Oh, I'm glad you received that, Miss Teach. Oh, I said, I guess I've answered your question. Okay, well, great. Answer that question. And you know what? It's funny about clairvoyance, because you know that gut feeling that you have, and then when you don't follow your gut, everything go wrong. Let me tell y'all, this ain't a funny story, but it's a funny story. So, what year is this? This is 2018. So it was 2000. This is 2018, right? Yeah. So that's 2017. Yeah, so it was 2016, right? 2016, I met this young lady, right? I was single at the time, had broke up with this young lady, and I'm single, doing my single thing. And I was leaving my store, right? My gut instinct, my clairvoyance told me not to go the way I normally go, but to go the opposite way, go left. But I went right. And even when I went right, it was telling me, there's a little turnaround right here. Do the turnaround. I didn't do the turnaround. I just went on ahead and went the way I went. Now, because I went to the light and I sat there and I waited, when I made a left, I turned. The tag light on my car was out. Tag light. Police pulled me over. My license had been suspended because I had missed a court date. I forgot. I had a court date I had a car wreck when my father passed away, and I had a court date, missed the court date. So, gotta go. So they take me to jail, right? Driving on suspended license, take me to jail. Get to the jail. They can't communicate with the next county that I'm supposed to go to, so I'm stuck there for like 7 days. 7 days I sit in jail, right? Bonded out on day one, the night of. But can't get out for 7 days because communication issues. Right? My gut told me to go left and not go right. But I went right, and that happened. Now, because of that 7 days that I was in jail, when I got out, I was so irritated, frustrated. I was embarrassed. No, I wasn't embarrassed. Let me not even lie to y'all. But I was frustrated. I was irritated because I missed 7 days and my store wasn't open for 7 days. So that pissed me off. But I was so irritated by that whole situation, and now I got to go fix all this stuff, and I got to put out all this money to fix all this stuff, that there was a young lady that I had met like a couple weeks prior to that happening. But I was so irritated that I ignored her. I didn't return a phone call. I didn't text her no more. I didn't say nothing to this woman for a while. Like, I was done. I was just done with women, period. Because I was mad. Mad because I didn't listen to my gut. Thankfully, though, the following, about 8 months later, I'm listening to this podcast. I see her name pop up. And I was like, I wonder if that's the same person. And it does. It turns out that was the same person. Right? And that was last summer. Or this past summer that I saw that. And now we're a couple. We could have been a couple like a whole year ago prior. But because we connected, we became friends, we let the friendship build, and then we started dating like last October. So now we're a couple. But we could have been a couple a long time ago. We could have been a couple much earlier. We would have became a couple if I had just listened to my gut. Now, I probably still needed to find out that I had forgot this court date. But at least if it had happened, I'm going to tell you this. If it had happened a couple months later, I would have been dating the young lady I'm dating now. I would have already been dating her, which then the next person that I actually did date, I would have avoided that situation that situation needed some avoidance. And when I met her again in the summer, I went out. I had been dating somebody for like a hot minute. I would have avoided that person too. So, but no, I didn't. And I probably still would have figured out at some point that, oh, hey, dude, you missed a court date when your dad passed away. But you gotta listen to that gut. When that gut tell you something, when that clear, that's you know that in your stomach you have synaptic, just like you do in your brain. So you have a gut brain. Okay, you have a couple of those. The journey was needed. You learned something. Yeah, I learned I need to pay attention to my business and make sure everything get taken care of. Yeah, that's the journey. Let's not give in to those kinds of thinking now. That oh, well, that happened because you had to learn this. You had to, no, I lost a bunch of money. Right, I had to pay for that the ticket. Actually, I talked my way out of the ticket in Marietta. I got away with that one. But the Cab County they charged the heck out of me. Right, so you, I lost money. I lost time. But my store was closed for 7 days. That hurt my reputation of my store for a little bit in that area because I hadn't even been there that long. So I lost money. There was no journey. I wasted my time. I sacrificed money for my store while I was dating this other person by helping them out too much in their house. And I sacrificed money, and that wasn't good. You know, I made a lot of emotional decisions during that time frame because I was mad. I let my anger like take over a little bit. So no. I was on a good path until that happened. I was really getting my mind right, and that threw me off. So, no, that wasn't a good thing. That's not a journey I needed to take. Some journeys we don't need to take. You know how your parents tell you learn from my mistakes, don't repeat them. I needed to, I needed to repeat that thing. That was horrible. But you know, me and her talk sometimes. She says that, oh, I wasn't ready at that time anyway. It might not have worked, but that's not true. I'm awesome, so I would have worked. We would have worked through all that stuff anyway. You know, she'd have been all right. She'd have been like, oh, you were there during my hard time. You're great. So you know, it would have worked out anyway. Let's see. Y'all stop laughing at me though. Just that's funny. I had a dream the night before once playing out a scene that happened in the same exact way the next day, and I did not take the opportunity because it freaked me out. Man, don't let that freak you out. That's your subconscious brain goes into places and it is working for you. You know, when you go to sleep, that is when your subconscious is active. That's when you astro travel, man. That's when so many things happen. You better listen to them dreams. I used to keep a dream journal, but I've gotten pretty good at remembering my dreams now. Even though I still sometimes forget, so I need to start my dream journal again. But dreams are telling you stuff, and it's very symbolic, and start following them things. Start following your dreams. You know, you have a dream about something, try to follow it. Don't be afraid of it. That's just your mind telling you. You know, that's your astral plane. I mean, I don't know your development, where you are spiritually in that one. So let me not say exactly what it is. But like I know for me, that when I have dreams, that's me connecting with that next level. And that next level is telling me what I need to do. Because there are certain things that I have done and have not done simply because it was a dream and I followed the dream, right? And I don't look back and I don't feel doubt about it or fear about it. I just keep moving forward, right? I just keep moving forward with it. So, God put you in that position. Some Christian said. Some Christians get cussed out if they come and tell me that God put me in that position. I put myself in that position. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Let me tell you how I put myself in that position. Yes, my father passed away. Yes, I was emotional. But that is no excuse for me not to keep track of what my responsibilities are. I had a car wreck. I know I had a car wreck. I know I had court for that car wreck. There was no excuse for me to miss that court date. Now, just because it lingered for a year and some change before I found out, that's no excuse. God didn't put me there. I put me there. Cause and effect. I made the decision not to be attentive to my schedule. So the effect was I had a warrant. I got in the car, did not check the little bulbs to make sure that it was all working. Cause and effect. Because bulbs blow out, you know? So, cause and effect. Um, Maggie Love says, do you believe in twin flames / soulmates? Yes, I do. And actually, Maggie Love, I'm writing a book called How to Find Your Divine Soulmate. And there is a part in there about twin flames as well. Because I see twin flames totally different than most people do. Um, and I will do a dream video. I'm going to do that because I'm very much into dreams. I interpret a lot of my friends' dreams. But twin flames. Most people talk about twin flames as being a person outside of yourself, right? But if you really look at what twin flames represents, feminine energy and masculine energy, and everybody has the God and goddess inside. Everybody has masculine energy and feminine energy inside. But one of the reasons why we can't create a soulmate connection is because our internal twin flames are off. Our male energy and our female energy are not in sync with one another. I was talking about this a little bit earlier of how we have that male and female energy. That these sayings from back in the day all are saying that, hey, you got to get, when the two have to come together in the same temple, the same house. When they do, I'm starting to study tarot, but I do study astrology. But when the two come together, that male and female energy, that's when you become a whole being. That's when you become complete. That's when you really start ascending beyond the third eye. That's the 90 degree. There's a 90-degree turn at your heart chakra that gets you into the spiritual realm. But then there's another 90-degree turn at your third eye chakra that gets you into your crown, right? But the reason why the two serpents stop at your third eye is because they come together in completion at that level. The Adam and Eve story is really about the female energy falling, not the female falling. The female energy in all of us, that love, that care, that consideration. We become too left brain. But when those two come together, that's your twin flame coming together in completeness. Now, when another person's twin flame is coming together in completeness, now y'all are meant. Now y'all can soulmate with one another. Now, the reason why you'll have that situation where you got this guy, he's all male energy. You got a girl, but his female energy is down. You got a girl, she's super female energy, but her male energy is down. Those two get together, and everything is like boom, it's explosive because they think I found my twin flame, but they burn out real quickly because it's too much male and it's too much female, and then they have incompleteness within themselves. So they flame, and then they burn out. And people say, oh, that was just a twin flame. They were just meant there for that moment, that all that. But in truth, that could have been a soulmate connection. If both their male and female energies in both of them were up, then they would have burned bright inside themselves, and then they could have been together in that soulmate connection, right? So that's part of my book. I've written a whole bunch of pages on that right now, and I'll probably write, when I go to the edits, I'll probably write like another 5 or 6 pages on that, right? And I'll probably come back to this part of this video to consult myself on it, because I like the way I just explained that. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video on dream series. There's a bookstore here in Atlanta that I'm going to, and I want to get some tarot cards and start studying. I've worked with some people who do tarot cards. There's a young lady in Miami. She does tarot card reading, DD Alchemy. I like her tarot card readings. And I'm not just saying that because I know who she is, but I've listened to a lot of her videos. I think tarot cards are very fascinating as well. Very fascinating. And actually, I had a tarot card reading, I think it was in December, and what she has said has been very valid, very valid. So I'm enjoying it. I heard someone speak on chakras, which leads me to the pineal gland. They said TP. I don't know what TP means. But yeah, I did. I've went around and spoke about chakras quite a few times at some different places, and done some videos on that one. Everybody has chakras. Chakras have been taught by many different cultures. The chiropractors will tell you that there are points of energy in your body that relate to different parts of your body and your lymph system and that sort of thing, and different organs. But I sleep to certain chakra music and cephalagios every night to open up my chakras and things like that. And I will even tell you this: there are certain, like, if you're making love, make love to a binaural beat that is with your sacral chakra, and you, if you're focused on it, if you're listening and you're focused on the person, you can develop deeper connections through that way. That should be on my tantric videos right there. They said be careful. They said be careful of evil entities. You know, people make up stuff just to scare you. Here's the thing about an evil entity: no entity can enter you without your permission. Plain and simple. No entity, they can't. They can't unless you give them permission. Now, some people give them permission by being fearful of other entities, of other energies, but only in fear do we allow access of any kind of energy into ourselves. So if you're opening up your third eye and you know that you are that if you demand that no other beings, no other entities, no negativity can enter into you, and you believe that 100%, then no evil can enter into you. You can't. You know, it just doesn't work. So, no, opening my third eye has given me so much more clarity of life and the universe, and so much more peace that I would never refrain from that. Mindfree said, I heard to open your first chakra, you have to ground yourself with the earth, as in walking barefoot. Walking barefoot is, you're right, you do have to ground yourself with the earth. You should. I ain't gonna say have to. I hate saying have to. You should ground yourself. You should take some time, go to a park, take off your shoes and your socks, and walk barefoot. You know, the meditation position for your root chakra is sitting. So to sit on the ground, not a mat, but to sit on earth, right, to feel it. But even if you can't sit on earth, it's your brain is so powerful that even when I lived in downtown Atlanta on the 7th floor, in your mind you see the core of the earth flowing up through, through the building, up through your sacral, up through your root chakra, up through your root chakra, and then up the rest of your chakra system. Yeah, so you can still root yourself to the earth. If you're in a position where you can't be outside, then you just, when you're outside again, get you some dirt and bring it into your house. I used to have one of my cauldrons and I had dirt in it. Now, because of who I am, I went and got dirt from the bank and put that dirt in there. I want some money dirt, and and I used that in my hands, and I would sit. Sometimes I would spread it out and sit on that dirt, to root myself in the earth. So you can do that as well. But yeah, you do need to root yourself to the earth, and then you can root yourself to the moon and to the sun as well. And so many more questions when you start remembering. Amen. Yeah, but there are a lot of questions when your dreams, when you start remembering, you start finding out things start happening. Life is living. Life and living is exciting. So much to learn. You can spend your entire life learning about this dimension. You sure can. Yeah, growing money. That's right. I grow money. I believe in that 1%. I'm going by the bank tomorrow. I'm gonna get me some more money dirt. But because my cauldron is at my store, so I need to give me some more money dirt. But oh man, that is so true, Linda. The thing about it is that, like in the video that I did, I don't know if it was a video today or the one yesterday, but I said I'm always even though I teach, I'm still always a student, and I'm more so the student than I am the teacher, because there is so much more to learn. I will never know everything, and if I did ever feel like I knew everything, then I need one of y'all to come slap me upside the head or something, because now I'm working out of my ego, because there's always so much more to learn. I'll tell you, the only reason I want to be rich is so that I can go and study, so that I can have access into certain areas that you just got to have money to get that access. But I want to be rich so I can study, so I can go around the world and study all the things I want to study. The military provided great access for me back in the day, but I'm not in the military anymore, so I need access, and that requires money. How can they have a Me Too movement in Hollywood but forget about the kids? Because it's Hollywood. Hollywood only cares about what's hot, man, unless they're setting the trend themselves. But that's Hollywood. Hollywood is filled with a bunch of people who just, like right now, I know I'm not trying to pick on Mariah Carey for saying that she's bipolar, but I guarantee you about to get everybody and their mama coming out. Oh, I'm bipolar, and we're going to have a walk for bipolar, and this is in for bipolar this and bipolar that. Because it's going to be the hot thing for this year. Bipolarism. Watch. 6 months from now, I guarantee it. Any money advice besides making it work for you? Oh, I can do both of these at the same time. Any money advice besides making it work for you, and can you touch on the power of your words as well? Yeah, some of them are really bipolar, so I didn't mean that in a statement that some people are faking it, but it will become a big thing. All right, so any other money advice? Now, if you go back and watch the earlier part of this video, Mind Free, I don't know if you was here when I was saying how we went to Navy Federal and we can get a pledge loan that increases your credit, right? But some other money advice. There is, I'll be doing a series. Oh, well, that's going to be on. I did tell people to go read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Because it is about making it work for you. But in order for it to work for you, you have to create it. Okay, you weren't here. That's fine. But if you can get with Navy Federal, if you have a family member who's DOD or who's with the government, go there, ask them about a pledge loan. You won't lose your money at all. You'll have your money and you'll be able to build your credit. I got an 80-point bump on my credit score because of that, because of a pledge loan, or secured credit cards to increase your credit. Credit is king. But in the meantime, while you're working on that, I do what's called a 70-10-10-10 plan, meaning that you have to reduce your standard of living so that your bills are only 70% of what you make, right? 70%. You got to get everything you have to pay for: rent, utilities, clothes, food, water, all that stuff. 70%. Gas, car notes, 70%. Credit cards, 70%. 10% you have to set aside for investments. All right. You can't make money work for you if you can't set aside 10% of what you make. Right. Now, let's say right now it takes 90% of what you make to live, to pay your bill. That 10% needs to be in for your investments. You need to save 10% of every dime you make. You need to set it aside. Then after that, learn what type of investments you need to get involved in. Anything that is a get rich quick, or hey, just make this money off just working a couple hours a day doing this, is a bunch of bull. All right, you don't see anybody in the top 10 on Forbes list who made their money on just working a couple hours a day. You would never see that. All right, you have to make smart investments with that 10%. So let's say you make $60,000 a year, and you set aside $6,000 over the course of the next 12 months. That $6,000. Now the whole idea of making it work for you, you have options. You can either go buy something that you can turn around and flip and sell on eBay, on YouTube, Facebook, somewhere that you can turn and flip that you can sell. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now. We saw these. Me and Shay saw these purses, and in about a month we're gonna start buying these purses and selling them. There's nothing wrong with that. You take some money and go flip it. Go find your product you can sell. It's so easy now with the internet. Or let's say somebody who this weekend, I think in the city I'm in Marietta. Well, I'm not living in Marietta, but in Marietta, I think they're having the Taste of Marietta. In 2009, I bought an Italian ice cart. And Taste of Marietta was my first event. It cost about $8,000 to get started, right? Got started, Taste of Marietta, first event. We was out there for like 6 hours. Made, after paying for everything, after overhead, still put $3,200 in the pocket for one day, just by doing Italian ice. So if you can get into festivals and fairs with a product that you can sell, that's some way you can make some money. If you know somebody who they got a business, but they need a little working capital to get them buy some inventory for the holiday season. You take that money and say, hey, I'll give you this $6,000 so you can buy all the product that you're gonna need for the holiday season, but I'm gonna need $7,000 back, or $8,000 back, whatever deal you work out with them. Or maybe even investing in somebody's business and getting 5%, depending upon where the business is. But you gotta learn how to evaluate that person though. Evaluate the business, evaluate the person, especially evaluate the person, so that you can decide how to make that money work for you. And then every time you make money off that money, don't spend it. Reinvest it. You got to keep reinvesting that 10%. That money that comes into that 10%, and it gets bigger and bigger. You got to keep reinvesting it until it is overwhelming, until it is providing more than your household and more than your household expenses, plus you can still save 10%. That's how you make money work for you. And you have to be patient. Most people don't have the patience to do this. That's why they never become financially independent, because they lack patience. Matter of fact, how old are you? Now, you got mind free 87. I don't know if it means you were born in 87. But hey, from my personal training days, I ask people how old they are. I don't care. I didn't need to know that. So how old are you? Oh, you 30? Nah, I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but I'm just going to say, man, you got plenty of time. All right? We're always taught to save money, but never to invest money. Exactly. And it's the investment part, which is very important. Ray said, I'm about to breed Chihuahuas. I have 3 of them. Breeding dogs is a great way of making money. You know, breeding animals, people buy them. Eighth one, what you talking about? Compounding interest is the Einstein. Out of everything he found, he said that compounding interest amazed him more than anything else. But now, I'm gonna tell you something. You're 30 years old. 30 years old, you got plenty of time. Let's say you spend the next 20 years building wealth, and then it is not until you in 20 years where you are bringing in, just off your investments, 6-figure income. You're only 50 years old. You're getting 6 figures, and you don't have to go work nowhere. It's just coming in. Now, Shondell, you just said something right there that I'm gonna have to clarify. Okay, wait a minute. He said I'm doing eBay real estate, and a job part time, looking for a 4th source of income. Don't get too ahead of yourself, okay? And this is going to be a combination of both you and Shondell with the 7 streams of income. I get 7 streams of income. But too many people are trying to have 7 streams of income without the dang on without one that's actually handling something, or 2 this one is handling the house, and this one is purely for making my money turn for me. Don't get too many that you can't handle, because if it's just you by yourself, see, I'm gonna tell you, I did something. I did that, right? And I was about to do it again, and I almost did it again. I almost took on more things than I can actually handle. So if I'm taking on, and that won't allow me to do the ones that I need to handle. So I got my store, right? Got my store, and that still needs a lot of my time. I got Coach Renz and videos and the Patreon channel and the coaching people. That takes time. Me and Shay started a company called My Naturally Pure, which is a coffee scrub. She's doing the labor. I'm doing the marketing, but that takes time, right? Arbitrarily selling things that I find that I like to sell, like when I found all these right here, and I just like selling them. That's still, even though I'm selling these, and these have been selling, which I gotta go ship some tomorrow, ship some out tomorrow. It's fine, but it takes time. In truth, I can't take on nothing else because I don't have the time to do it. So let me get my 7 streams of income. Get 2, 3 of them going real well first, so that you can bring on that assistant. You know, see, my next stage is to bring on that assistant who can cut and edit videos, who can make sure that the marketing goes out for each company, like every day, multiple times a day. Stuff about my popcorn shop, emails, Instagrams, Facebooks should be going out multiple times a day. As far as Coach Renz, multiple stuff a day. As far as everything, it should be multiple times a day. You can't just post something once a day or once a week and think you're going to get something. It's like when I was the sales manager for New Horizons Computer Learning Center, you know, I would tell my salespeople, you can't think that you're going to make 10 calls a day and you're going to become a senior sales executive and make 6 figures. No, when you first start, you need to be making 100 calls a day. Now, when you get good, you may be able to only make about 40 calls a day. But right now, you need to be making 100 calls a day. So if you're selling something, you need to be out there like you posting. See people ask about it. Man, you like this, talking about it. You know, that's why the other day I dropped 4 videos. You know, and you just you gotta go over and above to make sure. So having 7 streams is kind of hard if you still got to give all your time into those 7 streams. So pick 2 or 3 that you know you can handle, that you know you can devote a good amount of time to make sure that they get that push that they need so that they can actually grow. Then as they grow, keep in mind, I got to set aside money for assistance. I can't just start paying myself. I'm going to have an assistant because you can't do it by yourself, right? You're going to need that assistant. And then when you get that assistant, like my sales executive used to fight me tooth and nail because I would tell them like they would be, making about $3,000-$4,000 a month in commissions. And then I would tell them, say, look, if you want to go to the next level where you're making $7,000, $8,000, and $10,000 a month in commission, you got to hire an assistant. And yeah, you got to pay that assistant out of your commission, but you got to hire you an assistant. They never wanted to do it. But every time I convinced one to do it, man, within a month, their sales go up like 3-4 times. Right? Well, not 3-4 times, but their sales would at least double, right? Which was more than enough to pay the assistant. They didn't realize how much that assistant meant to them and how much time that they now had to be able to focus on the big picture. And see, that's one of my struggles. I'm a big picture person. Some of these detail stuff, I suck when it comes to detail stuff. When I get an assistant, it's going to be on. It's going to be on then. And that assistant is coming this year. This year, that assistant is on, is here. That assistant's now. All right? Can't be talking and speaking in the future. Got to speak into the present. All right? Just as Simple and Good said, that's true. It seems like today people are doing things later in life. One of my family members, 39. That's right. People are waiting. You got time, man. There's no need to rush. 30 years old. I wish somebody had told me when I was younger that time is my friend and that I got time. But I'm 46, and I think like if I'm 46 and it takes me 20 years to become a billionaire, I'm only 66. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to live 300 years. I got plenty of time. Even if I don't live 150 years, I got plenty of time to experience that billionaire lifestyle and to travel all over to Machu Picchu and Lake Titicaca and go down to, the hang out with the Aboriginals for like 2-3 months and, all that stuff. I got plenty of time. 40 years old, still in significant debt and more financially successful friends tell me I need to tackle the debt first and then start investing. No, you gotta do both at the same time. Do both at the same time, Shondell. Don't do. See, okay. Where can I send something direct? Super chat not working for me. Oh, I don't know. I don't have. I mean, other than that, I just got Cash App. I got the Cash App, which I think is Lorenzo Reed with a $sign or $sign Lorenzo or something like that. I don't know. Right on. True, cause 20 years you're still going to be 6'6", exactly. But at the same time, right? So here's the thing about that. When I was a personal trainer, I used to have those clients who always came in. Oh yeah, Patreon too. Yeah, I do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Coach Renz 33. So yeah, Coach Renz 33. I used to have these clients always came in and said, well, I don't want to lift weights. First, I want to do cardio and just lose the weight, and then I lift weights to build the muscle and shape it. And I used to be like, no, you got to do both at the same time. Matter of fact, if you do both at the same time, you'll actually lose your size and your body fat faster, right? So, in The Richest Man in Babylon, there's a story in there because it's a compilation of multiple stories. But there's one story in The Richest Man in Babylon. And this works, dude, because I did this from 90, what year was that? 93 to 97. I did this because when I got married the first time, she went to college, student loans, credit cards out the yin yang for being in college, and it just all she came with a bunch of debt, right? I ain't had none, but she came with a bunch of debt. And we took over a car from her mom, and the car needed work. I spent $3,200 on furniture and a car repair on a Sears car. So as a Marine making $1,800 a month, dude, I was strapped. I mean, I'm talking 98% leveraged, right? 98% leveraged. Had no money, right? So I only had like about $190, $200 left over at the end of every month. Now I took that $200 a month. I know, right? I took that $200 a month. And I started paying off the bills. So I got all the bills, right? And I said, okay, here's all the bills. This from the highest amount to the lowest amount. Now, out of this 10% that I got, the first thing I need to do is pay off a few of these bills because I need a little bit more room. So I paid off the first two bills, which gave me a little bit more money. Now, Dave Ramsey, all these kind of people, they would say, well, didn't you take that amount and you pay off the rest? No, I didn't do that. I stuck with that same amount, that same $200, but now this extra $50, $60 I had left over, I saved that. I saved that until I had enough money to get the license and supplies to do a janitorial service. So I invested, it was like $180 is what it cost me. I invested that $180 to start a janitorial service. So I was a Marine by day and I was a janitor by night. And so now I'm paying off the credit, but now I'm getting me some janitorial contracts, which did what? Put more money into the house. I'm reinvesting money into better equipment, hire some people, got me some more contracts, but now I can pay these bills off even faster because I've invested money to build money, right? And as I kept building with the contracts, and I'm working as a Marine, and I'm getting these credits taken care of, now they're getting paid off faster. Dude, 2 years later, completely debt free in 2 years, starting off with and I'm talking like paid off student loans, paid off the Sears card, the Visa card, paid off a car, totally debt free in 2 years, because my mindset was janitorial at night, Marine by day, paying these credit bills off with 10%, and I'm taking another 10% and I'm investing that into this janitorial service. And then the money started just roll. It took a little bit for the money to roll in. Trust me, in the very beginning, I was a tired brother. I was tired. It was hurting me, bro. And one of the offices, I'm cleaning one of the places on base, and I used to come see these people like every other day. So it was like, dude, didn't we see you leave here this morning with the janitorial stuff, or come in? And yes, you did. You know, because I had a goal. So the idea is you got to do one over the other first. No, you do them at the same time, because it actually will make it easier. And that's one of the stories, actually it's two stories in the Richest Man in Baghdad that talks about that. One is from this college professor's point of view who's translating the cuneiform, and the other one is from his name is Dabasir, of how he became a slave to debt and a literal slave. Yeah. See, Dave Ramsey, he's too much. And see, Dave Ramsey right now is talking about still being all cash, right? And you can't be all cash in today's world, because if you want to do anything, you got to have credit. And if your credit's not good, then you're not going to be able to. One of the hardest things for me to build credit after the 2 years ago divorce, the hardest thing was that I didn't do most of the things to build credit was in her name, so I didn't have much credit myself. But then when we got divorced, I got a lot of the debt, so I had to take that hit. But then I started building credit, but I didn't have credit, so I had to build credit, right? So I felt like I was 18 years old because I didn't have anything. I didn't have it, I didn't have car notes, I didn't have credit cards, I didn't have none of those things that build your credit. So if you go straight cash, you're not going to be able to build credit with straight cash, paying everything cash. Now, I do understand that when you are buying stuff, some things you do need to pay cash. When you go to the convenience store, pay cash. When you go to the fast food joint, pay cash. Pay cash on some of these things, because you don't want the bank seeing that you are using credit cards, using your cards for all these little frivolous payments, because that's going to affect your payment history. I mean, your cash usage. You don't want them to do that. You don't want them to look at that. So have cash for the frivolous stuff, but pay your bills with your card. Right? Pay bills with your card, and get credit cards. Like, I have to switch because I haven't been doing it myself. I have to switch. Once I can get credit cards, I will stop using a debit card. Right? My debit card would only be used to pay the credit bill. Right? But the credit cards will pay for everything else, because that's how you build better credit, by using credit cards instead of using debit cards. Debit cards actually hurt you by using those, by overuse. So you don't. That's why I'm saying you don't use a debit card for getting gas and for paying for food and going to the movies and all that kind of stuff. Get used to using cash for that, but then get yourself a credit card and use your credit card for everything else, and just use your debit card to pay the credit card off. Trust me. Especially if you want to buy land and property, that's going to help you way more so than, you swiping that dang on debit card because you got a cup of coffee. Yeah, Dave Ramsey talking about buying cars and houses with cash. Yeah, I don't. Dave Ramsey, he old. That's all I'm saying. He just old. Yeah. See, we don't get financial literacy. I had to learn a lot of this stuff on my own. My mom and them didn't teach me that. They was just like, go get a job, work, and try to pay your bills and have as much fun as you possibly can. That was about it. Right. Wish it would have been in this mindset when I was 20, but I was on the old program at the time. Crazy. Truth about it. I know. System living and started to connect the dots. And like that's one of the things that I'm trying to teach my kids, right? Is to not make the same mistakes that we made. Like I made all those mistakes coming up because I didn't know. I didn't know. Nobody taught me that. And plus, credit was just really kind of debit card. Hell, look, I'm 46. I remember when there were no debit cards. Like there were. I remember the difference between a debit card and an ATM card. I don't know how many of y'all remember ATM cards where you just had that's it. You go to the machine, and then places started taking ATM cards, at the register. But I remember those transitions, right? When I went to Germany, there was no such thing as a debit card. I came back and it was like, oh, there's a debit card thing, and I was like, oh, what's that? That's new. Oh, you remember? Yeah. So all this stuff we had to learn, and we made a ton of mistakes. So I'm one of the things I try to do is, I don't try. I teach my kids. Now they hard headed. Sometimes some of them they hard headed. I'm not told. Like my oldest girl, for the last 3 weeks she's supposed to go to Navy Federal and open up an account. And I sure fussed at her earlier today by take your tail over there on your next day off and get the account. It takes 10 dang on minutes, and you ain't got to pay nothing. All right. So trust me, she finna get some harsh daddy lessons. And my bonus kids, which is Shay's children. But yeah, them jokers learn. They finna learn too, especially the oldest boy. I know he got a little girlfriend. You know how they act when they get a little girlfriend. They don't want to act right. But yeah, because they can't make the same mistakes we made. We got to make sure our kids don't make the same mistake. And it's hard because they hard headed and they think that they know everything. Little raggedy jokers. And she said my card gives a nice cashback bonus. I use it to pay the company. Back. I also got credit lines in case I'm right. Good. Yep. And you do, yeah, keeping it under a certain percentage. You want to keep your credit usage down below 30%. Actually, now it's best to keep it down around 10%. If you can keep your credit usage down to 10% or below. Used to be you wanted it to be around 30, but now you want it to be like 10 and below on your credit. Yeah, financial literacy. I wasn't taught it. I had to. It was forced. Like I had to learn it because you know why I had to learn financial literacy? Before I got stationed in Germany, I didn't know. So, okay, if you guys remember calling cards, I don't know if you guys remember calling cards. I'm sure some of you guys do. But I went over to, I was on a ship with the Navy, gone for 6 months. My grandma, my mom, kids, well, I ain't have kids yet, but my wife. So I had a calling card. And I ran that thing up. Going away for 6 months overseas, I ran that thing up to like $1,200, right? Now, mind you, like I said, at this time frame, I was only getting paid $1,200 a month. Get back, they on the phone talking some. You ran this calling card up. You have to pay us, $300 a month until you get this thing. You remember the calling card? Until you get this thing paid off, you got to call it. So scared me. I didn't know at the time that I could tell the creditor, let me tell you what I can pay you $100 a month. I didn't know I could do that. Had no idea. So we just trying to make it. Just got back from being overseas, trying to make it. Little town we was in didn't have that many jobs, so she couldn't work. And here I am making my little $1,200 a month after paying them they money and paying for the car note and the insurance and the utilities and everything else. We had $50 left over. And that $50 had to pay for food and gas. Food and gas. We was doing pretty good. We was making it work. Till we got to around October. Was it October? Yeah, it was September. No, it was October. Got around to October. Had some vegetables in the house. And that's it. Just the vegetables. Thankfully, a friend of mine her uncle worked at the Honey Baked Ham place, and he gave us a whole ham. Made that whole ham for 2 people last for 30 days, right? 30 days and make it last. Because we had one more payment. Made that payment in October, made that ham last, drove to work, and that's it. Didn't drive nowhere else. Went for walks. If the laundry place was down, we walked them clothes to the laundry. Hey, you had to make it work. But I hated it. I hated it. Right? I couldn't stand it. It pissed me off because it reminded me of when I was a kid and we didn't have food in the house sometimes because my mom worked 2.5 jobs to take care of 3 kids. So I hated it. It pissed me off. So the next month, found out I was getting stationed in Europe. Also got promoted. So now I had a little bit more money. So everything was okay. Right? You talking some beans and tortilla. I'm glad I made you laugh, but I couldn't stand it. So now I got promoted and everything, and I was pissed because some of the bills were, here's a student loan that I'm paying for that she never used. Not that she didn't go to college, it's just that her mom mismanaged the money so much that the student loan got ate up in all of her bills and utilities. So I still paid for her tuition and everything else was paid on a credit card. So I'm paying for a credit card. I'm paying a student loan that she never used. So I'm pissed. All kind of festivities are going on right here. When I got ready to go to Europe, I took like 10 days of leave. I went to the library and I read as much as I could on financial literacy over those 10 days. Because I was like, I'm not going to Germany this way. And that's when I found the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And I read that thing over and over again. Matter of fact, it was a homeless dude in the library who remembered me from when I was a kid, and I used to go to the library, and he used to always give me these reference materials when I was leaving Christianity. He remembered me, and he was like, "What are you looking at?" And I was like, "Financial literacy." This is the homeless dude. He was like, "Nah, you need to read this book," and he gave me The Richest Man in Babylon. Homeless dude, and he broke it down for me. While I was on leave for 10 days in Marietta. And that dude taught me financial literacy by giving me that book and sitting down with me. I don't know where he's at now. I ain't seen that joker in like 20 years. So I have no idea where he is now. But yeah, I used to find out that the homeless people, they some of the smartest people in the world. They know them libraries, boy, because, they keep warming now. Yeah, full circle. So that I learned a lot. And then I took that, and that's when I went to Europe. And that's when I started applying it and got out of that debt, right? And I got out of that debt. Now, I ain't gonna lie, because I let myself emotionally try to make other people happy, I've fallen from that from time to time. So I fall out of it and then get back started. But that's life. Now, the other life part is that sometimes things don't work out. I had my store in a location that just wasn't good. For 3.5 years, I was in this Walmart Plaza, and it was horrible. Horrible, I tell you. I mean, like, horrible. Like, the previous year, the store made $184,000. The previous year, the next year, that first year in the Walmart Plaza, I made $80,000 gross receipts. So yeah, it's like $100,000 plus drop in revenue. So 3 years of that, and I only got up to 110. So 3 years of that, that'll put you in a hurt locker. So life happens sometimes. But the beauty of reading that book is that it has allowed me that ability to recover. And see, that's some of the stories in The Richest Man in Babylon is you going through it, but then you have to recover. How to recover from it, and the fact that you got time to recover. And we have to realize that we have time to recover. I'm 46, and if everything went to hell in the handbasket right now, I still got time to recover, right? So I know I'm probably older than most everybody on here, so I know y'all got time to recover. I say, oh yeah, until you make the videos, any suggestions of things I can watch and also read and study about dreams and dreams? I don't know any books to watch on dreams. And I haven't watched a video on dreams in a very, very long time. I remember there's one guy's YouTube page called You Are Creators. He has some on dreams, but you'll have to dig deep into his channel, into his video list, because I think the last time I saw him talking about dreams and stuff was maybe like a year or so ago. So you have to dig deep because he puts out a lot of videos too. There's a girl. She talks about dreams. Ashura, the star goddess. She talks about dreams, but she talks about a lot of like dark magic and things like that too, a lot. But you'd have to dig through some of her stuff to find out when she talked about dreams. But Ashura, the star goddess, she talks about dreams as well. But I get something like that in my head. Trust me, I'll belt out some videos before the next week is out. Yeah, You Are Creators. Actually, that's one of the channels. Most mornings, I'm playing something from You Are Creators, or there's another motivational channel that I might be playing every morning. I would love to become a minimalist. Can't stand clutter. wait, Chanel. I would love to become a minimalist. Can't stand clutter or feeling like being closed in. I know I can't do clutter either. You should have saw me this morning. There's some stuff that I needed to go to storage, and I was loading the car up to take that stuff to storage. And now that I moved some stuff around, I got some other stuff I got to put up now because I can't do. You know, clutter. The thing about clutter is that when you have clutter, you're disorganized. When you're disorganized in your surroundings, your mind stays disorganized, and that innate thing that gets you to start handling business, you won't do it. You won't do it as well as you could. You may do it a little bit, but you're not doing as well as you could because the clutter that's around you clutters your brain and it clutters your time. It just messes you up and throws you off. That's why people who are hoarders, they're very, very, very few of them are ever successful in life because they can't get the clutter around them. Just clutters their mind. They just can't get there. But yep, affirmations every morning. The I Am discourse, I do that a lot as well in the morning. That's you guys. You mentioned the Hermetics, and I did some digging, but what I found seemed a bit dark. Oh man, I don't know if you're on my Patreon, but I did a whole series on the Hermetics, breaking down the Kabbalion. It's about 14 different videos. Mark Pizio is a good person who talks about the Hermetics, but he used to be a Satanist, and he does get too much into the whole Illuminati stuff. But his basic information on the Hermetics is very good. He does get a little bit into all that other stuff as far as, you know, they coming to get you and the world is after you. But Mark, he's smart in what he's talking about. He does understand the Hermetics very well. There's another video that talks about the Hermetics, but it's long as heck. It's like 3 hours long. And it's called The Great Arcanum. The Great Arcanum. It gets into it, but it's like 3 hours long. But The Great Arcanum is a good one to look up the Hermetics. Or you can just scroll through my videos and find one that talk about the Hermetics. Okay? Like the 7 Hermetic laws. I'm being told something, but she's trying to say it quietly so that she don't disrupt the video like I care. What did you say? She's probably telling me I need to get off here because I am so disturbing her.
No.
Yep, but I look to discard stuff. Trust me, every time I move stuff, I'll throw away. If I haven't used something in like 2-3 months, I'll throw it away in a heartbeat. And if I haven't used it in 6 months, it's definitely going in the trash. Or donating, it gotta go. I gotta teach some other people how to do that. But yeah, learn about dark energy. Don't be afraid of dark energy. I want just think about this. Yeah, Mark Pizio is very angry. He is. Didn't you do something about the demiurge? Yes, I did. I did a couple of videos on that. On Reply, I know, right? I can't hang out, watch Kevin. God dog it. Oh, dark energy. One of the reasons why I like Ashura the Star God is because she talks about dark energy. But one of the things that she says and that I agree with and that I have, and one of the reasons why I like her because it's something I've always thought. When you look at the universe, what is most of it made out of? Dark energy. Most of the universe is made out of dark energy, right? So how can dark energy be negative or evil? It's not. It's like a tool. It's like any tool. How you use it makes the difference. If you think about every creation story, I'm talking about every creation story. They start out with first everything was in darkness, and then boom, there was light. Okay, the light had to be born out of the darkness. Without darkness, you don't get light. Everything has a duality. Everything has so there's light, there's darkness, and there's 1,000 degrees in between. But neither one of them are good, and neither one of them are bad, right? They're all the same. It depends on how you use it. If somebody says that they're a light worker, but they're hurting people, are they good or are they bad? If someone's a dark energy worker, but they're healing people, are they good or are they bad? See, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how you use the tool. I can take a hammer and I can build a house, or I can bash somebody's head in. It's not the hammer's fault, right? So, yeah, and it's all perception. Exactly. And we are conditioned to see dark as evil. Yeah, that's, hey, I was picked on for being dark of skin as a kid. Told that I was ugly and all that kind of stuff, and so black. But I was about 15, 16 when I was like, black is beautiful. Yep, it's a wonderful unknown. It sure is. The darkness. And then here's the thing. If you go to any Buddhist monk, Hindu monk, anybody who meditates, they'll tell you meditate in the darkness. Meditate in the darkness. You get your best visions when you meditate in the darkness. Right? Best visions. I'm telling you, as you get better in meditating, you start using mudras, your best will come in the darkness. The only light, sometimes a candle, maybe, but meditate in the darkness. Right? The intention behind the tool. Have me, Kevin, and Pharaoh thought about a tour? Well, I don't know about with Pharaoh, but I know Kevin and I have been discussing that at length. I know that on the 28th, we're going to be doing an event in Charlotte. And then in May, we'll be doing an event here in Atlanta. Merkaba would be interesting, but he lives in like Sweden somewhere now. So he's across the pond. He's over like in Sweden. He moved like a year ago overseas. So I don't know how much traveling he's doing as far as this side of the world. But I think he moved over there because it's easier to access places like Egypt and all that on that side. But I would love to do something with Merkaba as well, because that boy brings a level of intellectualism that few people I've ever seen can match. Like, I don't know many people who can match his level of intellectualism, and the fact and I love his ability to reason and connect the dots. So I think Kevin is talking about something in Chicago at some point, but the reason why we're first doing Charlotte and Atlanta, because it's easy. It's easy. I live in Atlanta. He's near Charlotte, so it makes it easy. Put Houston in there. I know he was just in Dallas, and I was in Dallas as well, and I know Jamar was in Dallas. So, but we all couldn't be in Dallas at the same time. That would have been interesting if we was all in Dallas at the same time. Pharaoh is here in Atlanta? I didn't know that. I'm going to have to ask. I didn't know that. As many times as me and him been on together, I never thought to ask him where he's located. If I'd known that, because I know there's another guy, he's just really getting started, Cali. He's here in Atlanta. I'll be doing some film work with him. But, all right, we're going to start wrapping this up in 1 minute and 10 seconds, because I just got one. That'll be 2 hours, and that's what I told myself I was going to limit it to. And then I'm getting some dirty looks too. What do I think of the beef with Nature Boy and Young Pharaoh? I know he has a lecture on Sunday. I don't know of the beef between them two. You have to understand. I know you guys see me on Kevin's show, and we've had people on there that we've debated against, and there's other people that they've come out and said things about me, and then I may have responded to them. But I don't intentionally gravitate towards negative things that are going on. So they're having an issue. I don't know what it's about, because I really don't. When I see stuff like that, I kind of just move on. I don't pay attention to it, because it's not serving me in any form or fashion. So I just move on. Unless it's something that's going to injure me or those that I care about, then I have something to say. But for the most part, unless I'm defending somebody, like how I defended Kevin against a couple of people when I first started, when I first mentioned him a little over a year ago. But when people are having beef, like I know Umar Johnson was having a beef with somebody else, and I just kind of like, if that's how y'all want to waste y'all time, go right on ahead. I'm looking to build people, and to me, if somebody disagrees with me, I just like, okay. Now, if somebody unfairly criticizes, then I got to say something about that, like these guys did. I'm just glad brothers and sisters are starting to reject indoctrination. And I'm thrilled about that. Now, I will fight for that. I'll fight for that all day long, until people, but I don't try to change. If somebody's like headstrong into their belief, I just leave them alone. Do you read Manly P. Hall books and Madame Blavatsky? I sure heck do. And I listen to Manly, especially when I know I gotta, because Manly P. Hall's videos, they be like an hour and 45 minutes, 3 hours long. So when I know I'm going to be in the car for a while, I slap on a Manly P. Hall or a Witten. Oh, thank you again, Mind Free. I appreciate that. But yeah, Manly P. Hall, and see, I like what he says. I like what he talks about. And Madame Blavatsky, I'm telling you, if war, I think part of the whole starting of World War I was to shut her down, right? Was to shut her down because, yeah, Aleister Crowley took things to a whole nother level, but what Madame Blavatsky was talking about and what she was doing, getting into the whole next level of the spirit world, I mean, she's deep. Now, she did allow herself to get caught up in the fact that other people was taking her information and making money off of it, and they were frauds. And that's that physical quality. It gets you sometimes like that. I'm not mad at her because she's still human no matter what. But when you just go basic with her knowledge and the Golden Dawn and all that, it's some deep stuff. It's some real good deep stuff. And a lot of people are afraid of it because they've been conditioned to think, oh, that's witchcraft and this, that, and the third. Nah, man, that's working with natural law is what that is. Working on different levels, You heard she was a plagiarist. Yeah, towards the end, she plagiarized some stuff. She sure did, because she was trying to get into that fame. She plagiarized some stuff, and then she became like, she started defrauding people out of money. So she messed herself up towards the end there. But in her early days, she was just studying, reasoning. We go through rituals just to get ourselves in the right mindset and condition. I meditate to get my mind right. I perform certain rituals to get my mind right. It's all about getting my mind and my spirit right. It ain't got nothing to do with, I don't worship nothing, but it's just about getting everything right and about getting you in a position, physically embodying something. So when in her early days, when she was into that and doing all that, she was on point. She lost her way. Aleister Crowley was on point at first. Then he lost his way, and that's the thing that, I tell Kevin, I say we have to always be mindful not to lose ourselves, not to lose ourselves, to have checks and balances, to not let, because sometimes I always tell people I don't want to be famous because I know sometimes exactly the ego gets in the way, right? I don't mind being known, but I don't want to be famous because I know me. I might get caught up, and I don't want to get caught up. So, notoriety, sure. Fame, with people following you and all that stuff, that's why I would be very quick to try to push that aside. I was in the South Cap Mall. There was a guy. He's from Sweden, and he was like, well, he's from here, but he lives in Sweden. And he was like, "Coach," yelling it all out. And I was like, oh, Lord, who know me and I don't know who that is. But, we shook hands, we everything. And he was giving me a whole bunch of props. But I had to stop him from doing it because, hey, I got ego. Sometimes I still, you'll forever have to battle that ego. Right? You forever have to battle it. So I'll take notoriety, but I kind of don't want fame. And y'all not got me for an extra 4 minutes. Just to let y'all know. And I'm going to get in trouble, right? Are you able to explain the meaning behind Neo bending the... Oh, with bending the spoon, when he told him that it's not the spoon that is bending, that maybe you're bending to the spoon. Neo being the one, but Neo wasn't the one. He's not the one that was prophesized as far as the one who would change, who was born inside the Matrix and would change it. That would be Agent Smith. Agent Smith was the one. But as far as Neo bending the spoon, but instead of the spoon bending, instead of him bending the spoon, it's him that's bending to the spoon. In that is that hermetic understanding of understanding the mental, that the universe is mental and everything is mind. So when you realize that the universe is mental and everything is mind, you recognize that you are just energy, particles. And it is not you bending the universe to your will as much as you're bending yourself to the will of the universe and how it works. So if if all things mental in the universe, and if you want to manifest something, then you bend yourself into that manifestation, right? So that's like a short version of that. You was like, ease up a bit. I don't understand that one. Mystique said, bye for real this time. I know, good night. We trying to keep you on. I know y'all trying to keep me on, but y'all gonna get me in trouble. Now, who ain't y'all gonna defend me when she fussing at me? That's what I want to know. Yeah, we gotta bend. We have to bend. Do I watch? I don't know who that is, but I've checked that out. No, I appreciate you guys getting these long truck drives. Yeah, YouTube is. I'll binge on YouTube in a heartbeat. Yeah, she is snoring. She is knocked out. she. Oh, I'm definitely gonna tell her that y'all heard her snoring. She got a pillow over her head too. So I wish I should put the dang on microphone over there so y'all can really get. All right. So y'all gonna get me in trouble. yeah, you got me. You ain't here in Atlanta. I mean, you might be in Atlanta, but nah, yeah, I hear you with that. You got me. Y'all be like, wait, man, that's you. I know she'll kill me. She sure would. I'm gonna turn in her direction. See, but that's light. That's light. Let me tell you, that right there, that's light. That's light work snoring. All right. There's sometimes she be snoring, and we was on a road trip, and she was snoring. Man, I thought it was something in the engine that was going on. Don't tell I said that. I thought the engine had problems. Way she was calling things. But all right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate it. Mind Me Free. I appreciate the donations. That actually means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. So I appreciate it. Okay, so little guy, you're in Atlanta. We'll have to. I've met up with a few people who are here in Atlanta just to meet up. So contact me. Let's see what we can do. But y'all, I appreciate you guys for staying on here. I know we've been on here for 2 hours. We talked about everything under the sun. I like just talking about everything under the sun. Going to YP's lecture too. Okay, cool. All right. But we'll continue. I will do a lot more live stuff because I like live. It's kind of cool. So we'll do a lot more live stuff. I don't know if I'm ever going to put it on a schedule because my schedule's crazy. So it just catch me when we can catch me. If I can put some things on a schedule, give you guys some warning, I'll start giving you some warning. But I appreciate you guys, and remember, as I always say on most of all my videos, you got to free yourself to be yourself. Why? Because your greatness is non-negotiable. And y'all have a great night so I can get in trouble.